So Geoff, in a few words, can you tell us what to expect from Summer Game Fest?
It's all about the comb.
Well, let's talk about it. The Summer Game Fest kicked off. We had Street Fighter 6 as the first thing going on, and you know what? This looked really cool. I was excited. I was trying to keep my expectations in line with this entire presentation, but I thought, why would we do a big summer presentation if we don't have fun stuff to talk about? And Street Fighter 6 definitely gave me a warm feeling, a fuzzy feeling inside. Guile is back. Guile was shown off during this trailer. The gameplay looks absolutely phenomenal. I am super sold on this game and I'm very excited for it. So I was hoping that this was going to set the pace for the show. We got a great way to start things off. This show's going to have lots of fun announcements and well, we start to quickly go downhill. Aliens Dark Descent was up next. It was a great CGI trailer. I was like, okay, this is cool. Hopefully it's going to be like Alien Isolation. And then they showed the game, which is like a top-down team-based game. And it's like, there was 2 seconds of the game and everything else was the CGI trailer. Are you not satisfied with the game that you created, so you have to create buzz based on a CGI trailer? I don't know how I feel about that. I don't understand why we're not doing an Alien Isolation 2, since Alien Isolation was arguably the best Alien game of all time. But yeah, there's a new Alien game coming out. Callisto Protocol got some gameplay. This is honestly one of my most anticipated games of 2022. It's pretty much like a modern Dead Space, and it just looks absolutely brutal. Like, it's so just in your face, gory, disgusting. Like, this dude's head got like ripped in half and like ripped off, and it was like pieces of like his flesh falling off. It looked really cool. I thought this was really fun looking, and I can't wait to play this game when it comes out in December. So, now I'm kind of like, okay, well, maybe the show will have some hits and some misses on it, but for the most part, maybe we'll have some good stuff, some stuff to get excited about. And I thought we all hated Activision games. I thought Geoff said, he wasn't going to work with Activision because of, all of the allegations and the court cases against them. But I guess money talks. And now that Microsoft purchased Activision, everything is just kumbaya nowadays, because Modern Warfare 2, they literally showed off like a full level of the game with gameplay, and then they had people up on stage talking about it, and it's like, it's Modern Warfare 2. It looks like a dude bro first person shooter. Like, it looks like Call of Duty, and I understand that like the name will make this game popular, being Modern Warfare 2, because that's a game that a lot of people have fond memories of. I'm just not super interested in it. Like, I might pick it up at a discount. I do like mindless first person shooters. It's a, military first person shooters are a genre that I don't really ever talk about on the channel, but they are something I am really into, just as like a mindless thing. So maybe on a discount I'll check it out, but I don't know, it just looked more of the same. Like, it did look pretty decent graphically, but I don't know, it didn't need to be 10 minutes plus long of Modern Warfare 2, but I guess Activision's paying those big bucks and Geoff will go after them. Next up, we got a new Flashback game, Flashback 2. This is cool. I like this. I like the graphical style of the game. The original Flashback was an iconic game that gets re-released all the time. It's always on sale on the Nintendo Switch eShop, but it's really a good game, a classic game, and them to be doing a sequel to this game 30 plus years later, I thought that was very cool and sort of out of left field and, kind of a surprise. We were told that there wasn't going to be many new game announcements here, but maybe Geoff was just pulling our leg a little bit. He was just trying to trick us because there's going to be lots of big game announcements, and spoiler alert, there's really not. Now, before we go on with the show, I want to give a huge thank you to a sponsor of this video, which is the Saints Row Boss Factory. This was actually showcased during the show itself. They gave me an early preview of the Boss Factory, and this is what I came up with. So make sure you check out the link in the description box down below. So Saints Row is coming out on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC via the Epic Game Store on August 23rd, but maybe you don't want to wait that long. Maybe you want to sink your teeth into the game and go ahead and create your own character. Well, you can actually do that right now with the Boss Factory mode available for download on all platforms. Alright, so let's create our own boss here with the Saints Row Boss Factory, because I'm a boss. Basically, what you're going to want to do is you can do a lot of different things with your character creation in this game. It's absolutely insane the amount of stuff you can do. There's basic presets that you can follow. There's all sorts of stuff that you can customize. I've made quite a few interesting bosses myself. Basically, me. He's a little heavier than me, but he's pretty much me. Let's take a look at this one here. We'll apply all, and we'll go into some of the fun stuff you could do. You could change the body figure, the chest size, the groin size there. All right. You know what? Hey, It's 2022. Let's do a little something fun here. Hey, you know what? That's classic. That is classic RGT right there with the boss mode. You could do everything though. You could change the veins. You could change individual sides of the face. You want a glossy hair. You want a non-glossy hair. You want glossy facial hair that you know, looks a little questionable, you know, but hey, you know what? Like I said, you can do whatever you want in this game. The customization is really unmatched when it comes to creating your own character in this game. And the cool thing is you can head over online and upload these creations and also check out other people's creations. So go ahead and download Boss Factory on your PlayStation, Xbox, or PC via the Epic Game Store and check this character creation tool out for completely free. Plus, when you pick up the game on August 23rd, your character will carry over and you get a freaking rocket launcher for free. And some more additional items for free by simply creating your character ahead of the curve. Huge thank you to Saints Row for sponsoring this video. Check out the link in the description box down below for more information. Alright, moving right along, Witchfire was up next. It's kind of like a game, it kind of looks like Dark Watch, you remember that on the original Xbox, sort of like a fantasy first-person shooter. I don't know, a lot of people on my Twitter feed seem to really be interested in it. I was not one of them. It just looked, I don't know, kind of generic for me. Fort Solis was up next, which is like a bunch of people talking about how cool the game is actually going to be without, you know, actually showing off the game. There's a lot of space games, and this was one of the space games that was shown during this thing, along with Aliens Dark Descent and Callisto Protocol. Then we had another space game, first-person shooter called Routine. Evidently, Mick Gordon is doing the soundtrack from this game. Now, Mick Gordon is, of course, known for the Doom soundtrack, and that soundtrack is awesome. And here's the kicker. For this trailer, they had no music in it. What? Why would you do that? Why would you not have any riffs in the trailer? Because Mick Gordon is supposed to be like a selling point of this game. Just a very bizarre decision. It was all CGI, more first-person shooter space stuff. Like, I don't know. It's just kind of getting off the rails, and the more we go along, the more off the rails we get. The Rock was here, you know, the big video gamer, The Rock. He talked about a movie called Black Adam. I don't know what this is. I'm not quite sure why a movie is present at Summer Game Fest. Kind of like the Game Awards having movie trailers. Like, we're talking about games, not movies, but hey, it's The Rock and everyone loves him. So yeah, there's a movie coming out. Outriders, remember that game? I don't either. That game is getting some DLC. Jesus Christ, Jeffrey, what are we doing here? We started out strong with Street Fighter 6. You know, we had the Callisto Protocol gameplay. I thought that was really cool. Then we just started getting like random games that like nobody's really ever heard of, and a lot of CGI trailers. You see, that's the thing. A lot of people don't like CGI trailers because it's not indicative of the game that you're going to be playing. People would like to see a mixture, or at least mostly gameplay, with a little CGI thrown in there so we can understand what we're playing, especially when we're talking about games that were announced, you know, years ago, or games that are just not heavily talked about, so we don't know what these games are. A lot of these games that you've been showing have been CGI trailers, and they're games that a lot of people are not familiar with. Then we got a generalized Nintendo trailer showing off some stuff that's coming soon. We got a Fall Guys trailer to celebrate the new stuff, the free-to-play stuff, and it wasn't like a game trailer, of course. It was like a sort of pseudo real world thing. We got another spacey game with an extremely generic CGI trailer, and the CGI looked like 2010 CGI. So what is this game? I'm watching it and I'm like, okay, you know, this might be something kind of cool. It's a game called Stormgate, a real-time strategy game with ex-Blizzard employees. Well, you know what? You could have fooled the hell out of me, and you did, because nothing in this trailer screamed out to me, this is going to be a real-time strategy game. They ended up showing like a work-in-progress picture of the game that looked absolutely nothing like the CGI trailer. You see where I'm going with this, with the CGI trailer stuff. I'm trying to keep an open mind. I'm trying to enjoy things. I don't want to sit here and watch a 2-hour show and not enjoy myself. But when I see a problematic problem, such as using CGI trailers to hype up games when the CGI is not indicative anywhere close to what the game is going to be, then I start to get annoyed. And that's what I felt just going throughout this show. We got a game called High Water. It's your artsy-fartsy game, you know, you gotta have one. American Arcadia, it's like the Truman Show, except you're trying to escape it, and all the cameras are watching you. A little bit of Running Man mixed in there. Next up, Jeff said he had a highly anticipated sequel getting announced, and it ended up being Goat Simulator 3? Is that something that the streets are looking for? Is that something that the kids are looking for? Goat Simulator 3? It looked like a Dead Island 2 trailer, but, you know, God forbid we get something like that. Midnight Suns, which is the new Marvel game, a card game, got a beautiful CGI trailer that's not indicative of a card game whatsoever. It did have Metallica's Master of Puppets in that trailer, so, you know, RIP people who stream this event, you probably got a copyright claim, because Lars Ulrich is like, no Napster and no Summer Game Fest. You give me that money. I'm Lars Ulrich. So, you know, good luck with that. This game comes out on October 7th, but the Switch version is now delayed. I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't like card games, and I understand there are people that do, and that's cool. But once again, this is a CGI trailer that looks like an action adventure game, but it's a card game. We got Cuphead DLC, and honestly, this was one of the best parts of the show. I will put this in the top 3 because the lady that was presenting Cuphead, what's up? I'm RGT85. Geoff knows me. Me and Geoff follow each other on Twitter. If you're interested and you see this, you know, hit up Geoff and tell him, you know, I can give Geoff my number if that's something you want. Evidently he had a wedding ring or something. I look at that as a speed bump. That's really not that big of a deal. So hit me up. You know, the Cuphead DLC looks great, but, you know, maybe we can get to know each other, become friends or something like that. Neon White was showcased next. The game that was supposed to be the Nintendo Switch stealth trailer, you know, for the Direct next week with the drop. It looks like they had to call an audible or something like that. Maybe I'll talk about that further tomorrow in tomorrow's video. There was another game. I wasn't paying attention to it. I'm sorry. Warframe was up next because Warframe is still alive. I don't know what this lady on stage was talking about. She was trying to explain some stuff. Didn't really care. A PC mobile game called Honky Star Rail or something like that. It's an open world RPG for mobile and PC games done by the Genshin Impact people. Has that same sort of art style. Don't really care. It's not on consoles. Zenless Zone or something was up next. Jesus, take the wheel. Take it from my hand and drive me into a tree because this show sucks. Now we actually got something cool. This was arguably probably the biggest announcement for me in this show, and it's something that I already kind of knew, and that is Casey Jones is in Shredder's Revenge. Casey Jones is in Shredder's Revenge. We got a new trailer showcasing Casey Jones. The game is going to have 6-player online and offline multiplayer, so that's freaking awesome. And we actually got a release date of June 16th. Let's go. Next week, we will be playing Turtles Shredder's Revenge, and it's coming out on Game Pass, so you can actually play it for free if you are a Game Pass subscriber, so that's really cool. I'll probably like triple dip. I don't know, man, that collector's edition. It looks in the big box one with like the strat guide and the figure. Like that shit looks dope. I kind of want that. Some generic game was up next. I didn't jot down notes of it. Then we got a Humankind update. Remember that AAA game from Sega, Humankind, where you like create humankind or something like that. It's also coming to consoles now. Wow. A One Piece RPG. Now, I'm sure Roger's Base had a meltdown over this and was probably screaming and crying. I don't care about One Piece. I don't know what this is. It's just a dude in a hat, and it's an anime, and I'm not really into it. Soul Hackers 2 got a new trailer. Okay. Mario Strikers got a generic trailer. Okay. The heavy metal first-person shooter game called Metal Hellsinger, that's a rhythm-based game, actually got a trailer. The song that they used in this was damn good. There's a damn good lineup of musicians on board with it, too, like people from Arch Enemy, Trivium. This game actually looks really cool. You know, I'm not really huge into rhythm-based games, but if the music is awesome like it was in this trailer, that's going to be really cool. The Quarry got a trailer. It comes out tomorrow alongside of Mario Strikers. I don't understand why games that come out tomorrow need to be in a presentation happening today. Like, I think we're all kind of aware of those games. Nightingale was up next. I know Nightingale is a song from Saves the Day. You did not expect RGT to be a Saves the Day fan. Now, would you? But I am indeed. And I actually think that's a good song by Saves the Day. I don't really remember much from that game. Warhammer something or another got a game. It honestly looked kind of cool. I won't play it, but it's like a brutal first-person shooter game that, you know, it has potential. I don't know. It's like Warhammer games. You got to be like, you know, play the board games too and stuff like that. I'll probably never play it. If you're excited for Silent Hill from Blooper Team, well, guess freaking what? You can go to hell because we got Layers of Fears. That's a terrible name, by the way. Layers of Fears. It is a remake of both Layers of Fear games for modern platforms. I don't understand, and this is kind of going to be an aside here. I don't understand why we're remaking games from the last generation, from the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. Those systems are still selling. Those systems still have new games coming out to them. What in the hell do we need to do remasters from that era already? It's just very bizarre to me. Gotham Knights got another CGI trailer. You know, I'm really starting to think that when companies are not confident in their games, they show you the CGI trailer instead of the actual gameplay. And like, this is a problem throughout the show, is all this CGI stuff. But what's going to be the big banger for the show? What's going to be the big exciting announcement? Leaked earlier today, boys and girls, because we've got Last of Us stuff to talk about. We got a concept art for the Last of Us standalone multiplayer game. Concept art. I'm watching a video game show presentation, and this is one of your big announcements. Concept art. What were you thinking? Showing off concept art. Nobody gives a shit about concept art. They want to see the actual game. They want to see the concept in motion. I guess I'm supposed to be excited for that, though. Talking about the Last of Us HBO show. We need some more TV in there. They let some people on stage who took part in the show. They were part of the original game as well. That's pretty cool. I don't really care. And then The Last of Us 1 remake was shown. And I have a lot of feelings on this, and people are going to get mad at me. I don't care. This is a safe space. If you want to vent about Summer Games Fest, do so in the comments section down below. If you loved it, tell me why you loved it. If you hated it, tell me why you hated it. I'm just giving you guys my opinions on what was shown. And The Last of Us 1 remake, which is now called The Last of Us Part 1, on paper, it doesn't sound like a bad idea. I do think it is strange that they took The Last of Us from the PlayStation 3, remastered it on the PlayStation 4, and now they're making a remake for the PlayStation 5. Now, the remake does have all new assets. It has new animations, new enemy AI. It's a lot of stuff. But here's the thing that it kind of goes off the rails for me. This is a $70 game. And, you know, The Last of Us, the original one that released on the PlayStation 3, was a $60 game. Okay, whatever. I beat it in, like, I want to say 10, 11 hours, my first playthrough of the game. And, you know, I mostly enjoyed it. I didn't like some of the puzzle mechanics, like with the ladder and the crate and the garbage dumpster. That was basically every puzzle in that game. But The Last of Us 1 had online multiplayer. So when you're buying the game, it's like, oh, you're getting, you know, a $60 game. You're getting the single player game, and you get some online multiplayer. They got rid of the multiplayer, and they're charging us $10 more. It's like, what the hell has the video game industry become? What has it become, and why are we so accepting of it? I think that's my biggest takeaway from this event, is that we're just accepting of bullshit. And I know I get a lot of feedback on Twitter. Oh, you're just so negative. You're just so negative. You just don't know what you're talking about. It's like, no, you dumbass, okay? There's a lot of people like me who have been around since really the inception of the modern video game era. You know, since the NES era. And we've seen how video games have progressed from the NES era to the PlayStation 5, the Xbox Series S era, X era, whatever. And you could see that along the way, with the rise of online games, we started to get a decrease in quality of the overall game that you get on day one. You can look at games like The Last of Us. Look at The Last of Us. Like, yeah, it looks prettier, but you have less content in this game that costs you $10 more. Gran Turismo is another great one to look at. Look at Gran Turismo 5 on the PlayStation 3. The amount of content, the amount of tracks, the amount of stuff you had in that game. You can even go back to Gran Turismo 4 on the PlayStation 2. Look at the amount of content in that compared to what you're getting with Gran Turismo 7. Look at a game like Halo 2 or Halo 3 versus Halo Infinite. Look at it, you know, every company is guilty of this, and it's not getting any better. And, you know, as far as this show goes, it wasn't needed. I think that's my biggest takeaway from this. We didn't need this show. There was nothing here that couldn't have been done on its own. And people say, oh, you know, we don't need E3. We don't need E3. Bullshit. This show shows us why we do need E3, because with E3, you know what a company is going to go on at what time. It's not a mishmash of everything. Companies have their own individual time slots. So if you're a fan of Capcom games, you can watch Capcom's presentation. If you're a fan of Nintendo, you can watch theirs. If you're a fan of Ubisoft, if you're a fan of this, that, and the other, everything is nice and structured. There's no real questions that you have going into it. You know what the show is going to be about. This was just a hodgepodge mishmash of random games with CGI trailers and really no meat on its bone. You know, the state of play blew this away. I fully expect the Nintendo Direct next week and the Microsoft presentation to absolutely blow this away. It was just not needed. It was kind of like the scraps, essentially, except for The Last of Us 1 remake. It was just the scraps of what was available out there. And that's just my opinion on it. If you enjoyed this show, that's great. But, Jeff, what is this show all about?
It's all about the comb.
I think you summed it up perfectly, buddy. So give me your feedback in the comments section down below. Like I said, this is an open platform. Discuss it in the comments section down below. If you're adamantly against what I had to say, that's great. Just talk about it, you know. Talk about it in the comments. Let your angers out. Let your happiness out. Let whatever you want out. And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. Be sure to check out Boss Factory. Link in the description box down below. Check it out. Make your character with big titties and a big wiener like I did, because I'm a child. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.